to reasonably accommodate a religious belief or a medical condition that might prevent vaccinations for an employee, there's a number of considerations that go into effect or that employers have to consider. And one is whether accommodating that medical condition or that religious belief would create an undue hardship or an undue burden for that employer, which is a very generalized statement. But to determine whether something would actually create an undue hardship, an employer has to go through a very, I think, much more than a surface analysis of that. And that's where I think, frankly, employers get tripped up. They can say, well, it's too hard for us to accommodate that. It's too hard for us to accommodate this this medical condition, or without really doing the work. I always liken it to my daughter's in grade school and she's doing math now. And the teachers always say, you can't just give the answer to the math equation. You have to show the work. So if an employer is going to take the position that it's an undue hardship to accommodate an employee who doesn't want to have the vaccine, they have to show the backup. What have you done to establish that this is going to be an undue hardship to your business for this, to accommodate this person or these people who don't want to be vaccinated or can't be vaccinated for a medical condition or a deeply held religious belief? So it's much more than just saying, oh, we can't do it. There really has to be some digging in by the employer to establish the why. The other thing to keep in mind is that an employer doesn't necessarily have to accommodate if the accommodation, which in this case would be giving someone a pass on the vaccination, would create a direct threat to their business. The direct threat analysis comes under federal law, under the ADA. And what's interesting about that, Paul, is that right at the beginning of the pandemic, the EEOC determined that a COVID-19 infection could establish a direct threat in and of itself. Somebody who has COVID in the workplace is a direct threat. So in that way, I think employers in determining what's an undue hardship versus a direct threat for purposes of whether they need to accommodate, I think that guidance from the EEOC is very helpful, that the fact of a COVID-19 infection, perhaps by someone who is unvaccinated, is a direct threat and could very well be a basis for not accommodating that particular requested accommodation.